Hello and welcome back to Of Land and Leaf. It is Wednesday, which means it's Worm Wednesday around here, and I will be checking on my worms, just doing a little light check. And I wanted to talk to you about why I'm doing a light check today. I told you that I am not going to be bothering the worms' habitat the way that I thought that I would. I'm not going into fluff or do any of the things that you see other people doing on YouTube today. Today I'm just going to go check because last week when I looked at the small bin, I found some little red moving bugs and I had no idea what they were. I didn't know if they were harmful, so I had to do some research. And I found out that I have mites in my bin. I also found out that mites are super common in a worm bin, especially if the bin is moist. If maybe there's a lot of extra food laying around, maybe it's taking a while for the food to digest, i.e. I'm overfeeding. And so I've been taking some steps to make sure that I reduce the conditions that invite the mites. Now, mites are actually not harmful. So I found out that they're not going to eat the worms. They may eat dead worms, but I shouldn't have any dead worms in this bin. It's a fairly new bin. But they're not harmful. The problem is my worm bins are currently indoors. I'm in my kind of multi-function office space right now. This is where I coach. This is where I do work. This is where I prepare my lesson plans for the classes that I teach. And this is also where I have plants, and this is also where I have my worm bins. Now, eventually they'll be outside a lot more, but right now in Georgia, it is 80 something degrees, and inside of those small bins, it's even warmer. So I don't want the worms to overheat, so I have them in a bucket, in a corner, inside my house. And I don't want mites inside my house. So I will be checking just to see if what I've done so far helps. What have I done so far? I did not water. I didn't add any additional water. There's no pooling water. It's not wet, but it is moist because I wanted to make it kind of moist. Did not add additional water. I did add some additional brown, some additional shredded cardboard, because the last time I fed them, I didn't add more cardboard. I just covered it over with the bedding that was already in the bin. So less moisture, more brown. I also took it outside a little bit more and let it get more air, so hopefully it would dry out a bit. So I'm just gonna check around and look to see if I have decreased in a week that mite population. And also I am gonna feed, because they do tend to eat the food in about a week, but I'm doing something a little bit different with the smaller bins, so I'll show you what that is. So there's a little bug right there. Opening this up, I do not see the mites here like I saw them last time. They were inside right here. Also, I normally keep this a little damp, and this was covered in mice. And when I say covered in, that's a slight exaggeration, but I could tell something was moving around in here. And I don't see. I see like a couple, like 2 or 3. But I saw a lot of activity last time. I'm just gonna put this over here on top of this plastic bag because I don't want them to get on my carpet. And then this is dry where it's normally damp. So I'm just gonna move a little bit to the side. This is the side where I fed them last time, and the food is gone. I don't know if you can see that, but that side is completely gone. And yeah, I've been alternating sides. So I'll feed on one side and feed on the other side to encourage migration. And also when I get ready to start harvesting castings, it'll be easier because I'll be able to have them on one side of the bin. I'm already getting some castings, but you know, it'll be a couple months before I take this all out. But yeah, my babies look happy. They're moving around. They're juicy. They're comfortable. So this time, I'm going to go somewhat in the middle. Uncover this, and I can see a couple little worms moving around. It's an ant. And this time, what I'm going to do, instead of putting the food that I normally put in here, oh, I think I see, is this my first cocoon? I can't tell. But I bought some dry food for them, which I don't want to get into dry food because I want to use food scraps, but let me show you what I got. Okay, now remember that my whole reason for raising worms is I want my food scraps to go into my worm ecosystem instead of into trash piles somewhere, right? And also I want to create castings for my garden. So, you know, that's my goal. And so I don't really want to start buying, like I'm not going to be buying worm chow and all the other stuff that you see on YouTube. But I did break down and buy some cricket food because worms really like the cricket food. The grit is good for them. Once I feel like this bin is completely under control, then I will start adding this with their food. But this week, I'm just giving them cricket food. And all I'm gonna give this little bin is a little shake. A little shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. So lame, so lame. Yeah, just a little shake. But I'm pleased with the results from just 1 week of helping this to dry out. And I'm gonna sit this outside for a minute while I look at the other bin. Okay, let's take a look at the larger 5-gallon bucket system. I'm gonna bring you down so you can see it. I think you can see that. One thing that I noticed right away with the bucket system is that when I took the top bucket out, because I have 2 buckets, when I took the top bucket out, there was some water in the second bucket, which means that, you know, it got really moist. I mean, that's why I have the second bucket to collect moisture so that it doesn't get too wet in here for them. But that's telling me like, okay, slow down with the moisture in here as well. So let's just see. I haven't looked at them since last week. It smells good. What you want to smell is an earthy smell, and it smells earthy. This one I hadn't noticed any mites, which is just really, I don't know. It's interesting because I do see a couple now, but they are together. So this one is a wetter system today, and the other one I had taken some steps to dry it out a bit. So now they've come over here to this system, it looks like. I don't see as many in here, but this is also a larger system, so maybe I'm just not noticing. Anyway, I'm gonna get up so I can see. As you see, I don't have like a really great setup, but I'm just making it happen with what I have. So I'm gonna just get in here, see what's happening, move some things around. I fed in the center last time, and there's like almost feels like a hole from where I fed them last time. It was right here. All that food is gone, and I just have some castings, but not enough for me to deal with, not enough for me to do anything with right now. Again, I'm not gonna dig through the bucket. I did bring scraps for these babies because I didn't see the mites in there last time, but I do see some today. Okay, I'm gonna put you back. So I'm going to feed them my strawberries that have gone bad, and I'm gonna put some of the cricket food in here, some dry food. I'm not gonna just give them dry food because I have more worms in here. I absolutely love looking at them. Like it's really hard to not bother them, but I just want to be a good steward. So I did kind of look around just to see if they were moving, if they were happy, if I saw a lot of mites. I do see a little bit of movement in here, but it's very minimal as far as the mites go. The worms look happy. The bin smells good. There is that moisture at the bottom that I'm not gonna worry about. I'm gonna let that stay down there because it may even evaporate a little bit when I put this outside. So let me go ahead and get the scraps. Where did I put the scraps? Oh, they're over here. Hold on. So what happened was I have these like containers all over everywhere that I'm saving because I am going to be gifting worms as part of like barter and trade that I'm doing. So I'm saving these kind of like small containers so that I can put worms in here when the time comes. So I put some strawberries that I harvested from the garden and I forgot that they were in here. And so some of them have gotten mildewed. I typically don't put whole strawberries in here. I just put the strawberry tops. But today I'm gonna put a couple of the small, like this size that have gone bad in here for these worms with a little bit of cricket food. So, and I'm gonna put it on the side because I've been putting it towards the middle and I wanna switch up feeding zones. So I'm just gonna put a couple of the smaller ones because I just don't know how long it's gonna take them to break those down. They're really gross looking. So they're nice and broken down, which is what the worms like. And they've been in the refrigerator. I didn't freeze them, but they've been in the refrigerator. So once they get in here with these microbes, they'll really start breaking down nicely. So I put 4 really nasty strawberries, whole strawberries in there. And I had some spinach that I'm getting ready to throw away the bag because you know how the spinach bag gets wet and yucky. And so I took the last of that out and I'm putting a handful of that in there. So I'll let you see it. Hold on. All right, so not a whole lot for this whole bucket, just like a handful of spinach, 4 strawberries. And then we're gonna get our cricket food. And we're gonna put a little bit of that over to the side as well. And this time, before I cover it up with my little cardboard pieces that I normally cover this up with, I'm gonna add a little bit more brown matter. I have brown matter in here that's dry. So I'm not concerned that this is too wet. And when I feel around in here, it doesn't feel too wet. But I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more. You can see me, I don't use any kind of like special shredder. This is my office shredder. This is my office shredder. But I don't really shred a lot of papers anymore. When's the last time I need to shred papers? So instead of giving this a goodwill like I started to, I'm keeping it to shred brown matter for my bins. So I'm just covering this up. Right, cover it up with brown matter. Then I'm grabbing my moist cardboard, adding that to the top. And normally this is the point where I will add more moisture. I'll spray this a little bit with some water, but I'm not gonna do that today. Today, I'm gonna sit her outside just for a little while so she can get some air circulating and this can, continue to dry out. And I'll check on them again next Wednesday and you'll come along with me. Until then, happy gardening.